Have you ever heard a little voice inside your head saying, "Why couldn't you do this?" Or, "You aren't good enough to succeed"? In any aspect of life, there will be expectations from others, but we should not let these expectations hinder ourselves from reaching our full potential. For example, when I came into high school as a freshman, I had high expectations for myself. However, as the year progressed, I realized that I needed to set my own expectations. I wouldn't let the expectations of others affect myself. I set the bar to be achievable, but not unrealistic, so that I could motivate myself to persevere through adversities along my journey. The great Martin Heidegger once said, "We should never allow the fears or the expectations of others to set the frontier of our destiny." In any aspect of life, there will be expectations from others, but we should not let these expectations hinder our potential, and instead we should focus on our own paths. For example, did you know that if you spell out the word attitude, and if you make each letter correspond to a number from 1 to 26, the sum is 100%? It is our attitude towards our expectations which allows them to be fulfilled. For example, a study was conducted at Harvard University where they went up to a group of 84 women hotel keepers who were very active just doing their job. They asked the women if they exercised regularly, and 2/3 of the women said they didn't. So then they asked, on a scale of 0 to 10, how much exercise do you get? And 1/3 of the women said none, I get no exercise at all. So then the researchers divided the women into two groups, the informed group and the control group, and gave the informed group a simple 15-minute presentation convincing them that their work is considered good exercise. The control group did not receive this presentation. After 4 weeks, they measured the women again and found out that the informed group dropped their blood pressure, weight, body fat significantly, and their overall job satisfaction rose dramatically, whereas the control group showed little to no change at all. This proves that if you can to exceed your expectations, you must change your attitude. My friends from history, Martin Luther King Jr., Nelson Mandela, and they have all showed positive attitudes throughout their lives. One such example was during the terrorist attacks on Gandhinagar, Akshardham. On September of 2002, at 4:45 p.m., the environment seemed serene and divine, until suddenly, the roar of gunshots and smell of smoke filled the air. In the end, 30 civilians lost their lives, and many more were injured. After the attack, the public expected the spiritual leader in charge, Prabhu Swami Maharaj, to retaliate and respond with violence. But instead, he demonstrated a positive attitude by not only keeping the public calm, but also wishing peace for the terrorist. This is an excellent example of not letting the expectations of others affect your decisions, as well as maintaining a positive attitude. This is known as the Akshardham response. The Akshardham response reminds me of the story of 3 construction workers pouring concrete at a building site. "What are you doing?" he asked the first worker. "I'm earning a paycheck," he grumbled. The reporter then asked the same question to a second laborer who looked over his shoulder and said, "What's it look like I'm doing?" "I'm pouring concrete." Then he noticed a third worker who was smiling and whistling as he worked. "What are you doing?" he asked the third worker. "I'm building a shelter for the homeless," he said excitedly. "Look, over there is where the kitchen will be, and over there is the dormitory." Each man was doing the same job, but only the third man had a positive attitude towards his work. This attitude allowed him to exceed his expectations. I would like to depart you with this message in mind. If you want to exceed your expectations, you must demonstrate a positive attitude. Thank you.